Yippee-ki-yay movie lovers, it's Jan here. If you've already watched my videos about the scenes and characters that were cut from Zootopia, you'll know there was loads of stuff that didn't make it into the final movie. But before Zootopia's filmmakers decided to tell the story we know and love of rookie bunny cop Judy and scam artist Fox Nick, they had a whole host of ideas which would have taken the movie in completely different directions. Yes, during the many years that Zootopia took to develop, there were many interesting stories the filmmakers considered which never ended up getting made. And that's exactly what I'm going to look at in this video, the untold stories we never got to see in Zootopia. Just before I delve into those, I've got a cool pair of Disney books to give away from my friends at DK. One lucky winner will receive both Zootropolis, the Essential Guide, and also Frozen, the Enchanted Guide, each of which has some lovely images and fun facts in them. For a chance to win, all you have to do is subscribe and leave a comment about Zootopia on this video. The road to making the Zootopia movie that we know today started with a number of ideas which director Byron Howard proposed to Disney's chief creative officer John Lasseter. For example, there was a pitch to adapt Alexandre Dumas' classic novel The Three Musketeers with mice in the starring roles. What the ideas Byron Howard pitched had in common was that they all involved walking, talking animals who wore clothes. In fact, both Byron Howard and John Lasseter shared a love of these types of animation, with the Disney classic Robin Hood being a particular inspiration for Howard. The Island of Dr Meow was another story that was considered by the filmmakers. This story featured a 6-foot-tall mad scientist cat that possessed a savage serum which could transform children into animals. The concept was pitched as a Roger Corman 1960s style B-movie, with the title and story drawing inspiration from the science fiction novel The Island of Dr Moreau by H.G. Wells, in which Dr Moreau, who lives on an island, creates human-like creatures by experimenting on animals. There was also a Guardians of the Galaxy style movie pitched called Pug The Bounty Hunter. The story was set in outer space and was about a team of animals hunting for other animals in space. After considering those stories, Howard said that Lasseter loved the ideas and wanted to combine the quirky quality of the 1960s style world with the animal characters from the space pug concept, which led Howard to develop his next concept, a spy movie called Savage Seas. Savage Seas was planned as a spoof of James Bond and starred a Jack Rabbit spy called Jack Savage, who worked at a place like MI6 where he had a tiny mouse boss a bit like Judi Dench. The movie's first act was set in an animal city, which Jack Savage left for the South Seas in the second act. Byron Howard even had titles ready for a whole series of related movies, such as Savage Earth, The Savage Land, and The Savage Times. However, what he found was that people weren't so keen on the spy element, but wanted to see more of the animal city from the first act. It was at this point that Howard decided to set the whole movie in the animal city, keeping the bunny character and adding a fox, as he felt it would make a great buddy dynamic, as foxes are natural predators of rabbits. Once the filmmakers decided to focus the film on the animal city of Zootopia, the idea was then developed with a much darker story than the movie we know today, and it centered around the character of Nick Wilde as the lead. In this early story, there was a much more overt level of prejudice from the prey population against the minority predator population who were forced to wear tame collars. The film had a dystopian feel about it, with the tame collars acting to control predators by shocking them whenever they became excited or violent. One particular sub-story of this involved Nick setting up a secret amusement park called Wild Times just for predators, where they were able to remove their tame collars and indulge some of their natural instincts without being electroshocked. And if you'd like to know more about the designs for Wild Times, I talk about that in my video about Zootopia's deleted scenes, which you can click here to watch. In this version of the movie, Judy was also a less sympathetic character who initially supported the collaring of predators. She was a tough police officer who chased after Nick when he escaped from the ZPD after being put in prison. By the way, in the final film, that chase was replaced with Judy chasing Weaselton through Little Rodentia. Eventually, Judy came to realise the harsh truth about the taming collar when she secretly witnessed a taming party for Kozlov's son Morris, a ceremony in which the 5-year-old polar bear cub receives a taming collar for the first time, and as he gets excited, he also gets shocked by the collar for the very first time. And it was after screenings with the Disney Story Trust and later at Pixar that the filmmakers realised that although the story was interesting, Zootopia was just too dark a place for the audience to like. This realisation came late in 2014, with the film due out in early 2016, which meant the filmmakers had little over a year to change course. So they threw out the tame collar concept and made Judy the lead character. The story of prejudice was still told, but in a much less overt way and through the eyes of Judy experiencing stereotypes as she worked the case of the missing otter, later discovering her own bias as well. So guys, what do you think of those unused stories, and do you think we could see any of the ideas or characters adapted and reused in a Zootopia sequel? I'd love to hear what you've got to say in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and comment for your chance to win this cool pair of Zootopia and Frozen books. If you enjoyed this video, take a look at my other videos explaining all the deleted scenes and rejected concepts from Zootopia and 25 things you didn't know about the making of the movie. And also coming shortly, I'll have a new Zootopia video on all the Easter eggs and hidden Mickeys you missed in the movie. There's links to all of them right here in my full Zootopia video playlist. Thanks for watching and see you next time, yippee-ki-yay movie lovers!